Very good morning to you. Welcome to the Monday edition of the show. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
And I'm Cecilia Omogbe, and we're starting from the continent where Enyimba proved everyone wrong. They were able to go away from home to score 5 over San Pedro. And of course, for them now, they are through to the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederations Cup.
All right, very good one for the Aba Elephants. Surprised us all going to San Pedro and getting that result. We'll talk more about that as we go on the show. Let's talk about this man, Novak Djokovic. It's no longer news that he is the Australian Open champion. He is the undisputed king of Melbourne. Of course, he's sharing his career goals, what he hopes to achieve in his career and what he's looking forward to. That's what we'll be talking about Novak Djokovic this morning.
And what's he looking forward to surpass the record set by Roger Federer. Right now, he's on Grand Slam number 17. Also on the program, the Rockets had a good one with the return of James Harden, putting up 40 points, and they were able to outclass the New Orleans Pelicans last night, 117 and 109. Okay.
Right, that's it. So that's how we start off the show today in the United States of America, talking about the NBA, talking about some of the amazing things. Cecilia already hinted where we're going to go. So let's talk about the results. And we'll tell you the stories behind the results. This one particularly interesting because a lot of people dubbed it as a matchup between Zion Williamson and James Harden. At the end of the day, James Harden came out on top. 117 points to 109, Zion's debut in Houston. All right, so Chicago Bulls losing to the Toronto Raptors 102 to 121. You had the Phoenix Suns losing to you know it already. Milwaukee Bucks 108 to 109. Denver Nuggets close one in the losing to the Detroit Pistons in overtime 133 points to 128. There are a lot of stories behind these games, Cecilia.
Yeah, I think we'll pick our star match for the day, Pelicans and the Rockets, due to the two superstars, the upcoming, and of course the one that has been there for a while. But the game between Raptors and the Chicago Bulls, it was all about a rookie, Terrence Davis, who scored a career high of 31 points, 12 for 15 shooting. And of course, that's how they were able to defeat the Chicago Bulls 129 and 102. Now, this is the man I'm talking about. We have to pick him for one of our top performers today, 31, 4, and 1. I mean, this is a good one for the Toronto Raptors because this particular one, they were able to equal the franchise record with their 11 straight wins. Pascal Siakam also contributed in this one with 17 points, 9 rebounds, of course, despite playing in the fourth quarter alone for the Raptors. So for them, 11 straight wins. 2016, they did it 2018, and this is 2020. 2020, they've been able to...
And they'll be hoping to surpass it because that's their longest streak. So they'll be hoping... and can you bet against them? They've done 11. So
they've done 11. They can do 12, 13, 14, even 15. That's what they can do. Let's move over to the other guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Of course, you mentioned him earlier. Giannis, for him, when he's on fire, he was just shy of a triple-double. 1 assist for the 5th time this season. That is, he was able to contribute 30 points, 19 rebounds, and 9 assists. So just 1 shy of having a triple-double for the 5th time this season. Of course, this one, it was a good one for them because they were able to win their 10th game in their last 11 games. Let's move over to another player, Devin Booker. He had 32, 7, and 6 for the Phoenix Suns. But then when you're playing against Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's on fire, Brook Lopez and the other guys, then it's difficult. Chris Middleton also went on for 25. And of course, for him, he had 30 points for the 7th time in his last 10 games. But then it just wasn't enough, pouring it all the numbers. Okay. James Harden,
another guy, short of a triple-double by just 1 point.
Just 1 point again. But him, well, a good one. We'll talk more about him because we're picking them as our star match for the day. Drilling 7 on 15 3-pointers attempt. That's a huge one for him, especially for some times where he was really, really poor. But this time around, he had to keep it cool, and he got that 40, 10, and 9. Moving over to another player, Nikola Jokic, of course. For him, he had big numbers on the night for the Denver Nuggets, and that's the game, that went into overtime. So for Detroit Pistons, they snapped their 5-game losing streak, and this happened simply because you have big guy like this.
And we must say that that's his 10th triple-double this season,
Absolutely.
the 38th of his career, doing big things for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's where we end it for the NBA. And quickly, we'll move to the Super Bowl. The fifth, everyone has been talking about it, just waiting for it simply because of a particular team that haven't won it in 50 years. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. They wanted this victory so much, but then they had to end that half a century wait for a title. When you're having a National League that is in its 100th season and you're thinking, okay, I haven't won this in 50 years. And when they started, they were trailing 2010 in the fourth quarter. And the quarterback, who happens to be the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, was the guy who engineered that 3 touchdown drives in just over 5 minutes. And of course, they were able to get their Super Bowl victory for the first time in 50 years.
Good one for the guys. I mean, a lot of celebration in Kansas already. Everywhere, the fans. Patrick Mahomes, star boy. I mean, just I think a season or two ago, just made was a rookie, and now he's doing big things. Has a Super Bowl to his name, and of course he's been very instrumental. Another instrumental figure, person that should get some credit is Coach Reid, who led this team against all odds. So, like you said, dramatic fight back. Against the San Francisco 49ers, and was 31 points to 20. You know, the guys there. I mean, if I was him, I'll be happy as well. I mean, you could see what it means to these guys after the long wait. Super Bowl 54, their name on it, and of course among the illustrious names that have done this. The wait is worth the while.
Absolutely.
If victory comes this way.
And the pictures you just saw was actually them paying tributes to Kobe Bryant and Gianna just before the Super Bowl started. And of course, halftime performances were done by these two Latinos. Are talking about, you know, them already, Shakira and of course J-Lo, just putting up some spectacular performance. But the man, as you mentioned, who is really happy happens to be Reid, who, I mean, he had more wins, 207, than any other coach. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. So all the victories he's won in the regular season is no longer in vain because he's got the Super Bowl to prove for it. Let's get reactions from the game.